All right, got a couple questions for you. The first question is this. How much is 37 billion pounds? Answer, 37 billion pounds is almost $47 billion USD. Let's put that in perspective. $47 billion, how much is that? Well, if you take the fortune of George Soros and you multiply it times 2, that's almost $47 billion. That is how much money Germany is going to have to spend by the end of this year to clean up the mess caused by Angela Merkel. And my guess is that's probably an exaggerated underestimate because this mess isn't going to go away. It's going to be a part of Germany for generations, well, probably forever. The cost of this is literally beyond calculation. Okay, so we got another question. The second question is, why is it when ethnic white people migrate to the United States, they don't blow stuff up? They don't go into nightclubs and shoot up people because they don't like what they're doing. They don't go into Christmas parties and slaughter people. They don't blow up mosques in Canada. They don't, what else do they not do? They don't fly airliners filled with passengers into tall buildings. They don't set off bombs at marathons. They don't do any of those things. White people, they're just nice. Same thing with East Asians. Why don't they do that? People immigrate to the United States and Canada and Australia, wherever, from, say, China or Japan or Korea or any of those far eastern countries. They generally behave themselves amazingly. When was the last time you heard of a Chinese person shooting up a nightclub? You know, same thing. It doesn't happen. There is a difference. We will answer that question in a few minutes. But first of all, let's take a brief look at this article. Then we have a second article that is kind of an extension of this one. It says that Angela Merkel's failed migrant policy will cost Germany and the European Union an estimated 37 billion pounds, $47 billion by the end of 2017. The article goes on and it says, and the Chancellor's struggling administration. I like to call her the Antichrist because it seems to fit. She's kind of like the devil incarnate, the most evil person who has ever lived in Germany. Oh, no, she can't be more evil than Hitler. Hitler didn't destroy Germany. Came close, but he didn't destroy it. Angela Merkel is doing what Hitler could not do. She's destroying the country. She's more evil than Hitler. My opinion, mark it down, write it down. You know, accuse me of whatever, but Angela Merkel is more evil than Adolf Hitler. Okay, it says, and the Chancellor is struggling administrate the Third Reich. No, this is the Fourth Reich. And the Chancellor's struggling administration has unveiled a raft of new laws in Parliament to help cope with the escalating European migrant crisis. Have you ever been on an escalator? Of course you have, going up. Now I want you to imagine an escalator that goes up forever, never stops. Get on the escalator, you cannot get off. It just keeps going up. That is an analogy of the so-called migrant crisis in Germany and Western Europe. Only it's not a migrant crisis, it's an Islamic insurgency crisis. A report for the Federal Ministry of Finance revealed taxpayers will be spending 37 billion pounds, that's 43 billion euros in 2016, and 17 migrant budget to meet the challenges. Let's don't call them problems, let's call them challenges. That sounds a lot better. Challenges of a nation state. The asylum, why do they call it a nation state? It's a nation, not a state. If the European Union were one big nation, then it would be a state. The reason they like to call it a nation state is to condition your mind to think of the European Union as a nation, and Germany is just one of the states. And the states in Germany are provinces. The asylum and refugee policy from the federal budget perspective report said it was necessary to put Germany on a good path. You are on an escalator that is going up endlessly forever. That's not a good path. You cannot get on a good path. The only conceivable possible way that Germany can get on a good path is, number one, close the doors to all migration of all people who are not ethnic white people. That's not going to happen. And in addition to that, they need to take all the people who are there who are not white and kick them out. Is that going to happen? Absolutely not. Just not going to happen. But that would be a solution. May not be a good solution, but it would be a solution. But it's not going to happen, so why even talk about it? Here's a second story that's kind of related. So we talked about the high cost in economics, but let's take a look at this one. It says migrants at war tensions in Paris. This is not Germany, but it's a Western European nation next door to Germany on the western side, obviously. As children attacked with knives because the children are too rich. This article says that gangs of North African youths, why can't we just call them Muslims? They're Muslims. North African youths have terrified Chinese migrants amid complaints that they have become too rich. So you've got this comparison of migrants coming into France. Some of them are coming from China. Some of them are coming from the Middle East, Northern Africa. The Chinese become wealthy, and the ones from the Middle East, North Africa, blow stuff up and live in poverty. What is the difference? We'll tell you in just a second. Let's scroll down here for just a minute. And let's take a look at a couple sentences here. It says, the streets of Paris have erupted in inter-migrant strife as North African youths have targeted rich Chinese migrants amid growing tensions. Well, why don't the North African youths become rich? Again, we'll tell you in a second. Police in France recorded more than 200 attacks on Chinese immigrants. And that just happened last year. All right, I got a question. I got lots of questions. But this question is, why doesn't somebody come up with a term like Chinese phobe or East Asian phobe? Because they're obviously attacking Chinese. Oh, I know, that doesn't fit the cultural Marxism paradigm, does it? Okay, it says this is mostly from hostile migrant gangs. Okay, so let me get this straight. Just for clarification. The East Asians come to Europe and they get rich and they don't attack people. The North Africans come to Europe and they attack people, but they live in abject poverty and are a painful drain on the economy. Once again, the question is, what's the difference? We'll answer that in about 2 seconds. This comes amid a growing perception that recent migrants from North Africa have become too demanding and consider themselves victims who deserve pity. Very well said. Thank you, express.co.uk. Let's answer the question. Okay, we're going to go over to the screenshot. We've seen this before. I want you to look at the blue areas here. These are regions of the world that are populated by ethnic groups, including Australia, who have IQs ranging around 100. They're relatively smart people. Okay, you can see it down here. It says 100. Okay, these are really smart people. In China, Japan, Taiwan. I think that's Taiwan. That's Hong Kong. I may have those two backwards. The Koreas, these are highly intelligent people. Okay, these who live in the yellow areas call this the, what do you call that? Call that the dumb belt. These people have IQs that average around 85. So these are not intelligent people. Keep in mind the threshold for mental retardation nowadays, according to psychologists, is 70. It used to be 85, but they changed it because there were too many dumb people. Nothing wrong with dumb people. They can't help it. They were born that way. You don't hate them, disparage them because of an unchangeable characteristic, natural characteristic, but you don't deny it either. It's reality. Okay, so this is the dumb belt. What about this red area? This is the idiot belt. These are sub-Saharan Africans. They're really, really, really stupid. They have IQs that range in the 70s. Keep in mind that 70 is the threshold for mental retardation. Some of them, such as, say, Ethiopia and Somalia, and some other parts of the sub-Saharan African region, have IQs that are under 70, some of them under 65. Once again, the threshold for mental retardation is what? 70. That means if you have a nation like Ethiopia and Somalia that have average IQs that are below 70, the population on an average is retarded, literally, not figuratively. It's a country populated by retards. I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but I'm not trying to be nice. I'm trying to be honest. Okay, so back to our original question. The question is this: why is it when people from this purple area move into the blue areas, the United States, Canada, Australia, Europe, why is it when these people move in, they get rich and they don't blow things up? While on the other hand, people who move from the yellow and red areas into Europe and the United States do blow things up. Now, let me make this clear for clarification, because this is an important detail you don't want to miss. Okay, the people from the yellow areas, when they move into, particularly this area here, when they move into Europe and the United States and Canada and Australia, they tend to blow things up. However, that contrasts with the people from the red area. When they move into the United States and Western Europe and Australia and Canada, they tend to burn things. So yellow, blow things up, red, burn down. Think of it like this: red, fire; yellow, explosion. Dark purple, they tend to get rich and they don't blow things up. So does that answer the question? Yeah, I think it does. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this on social media. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. We'd like to know what you think about this. And in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little button that if you click on it, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
How to subscribe? Click subscribe. Click the bell. Check the box. Save.